not just a goodbye. Jungkook leaves Taehyung in silence, ARMY furious. The ARMY world is once again shaken by shocking news that leaves many question marks and deep emotions. This time, it's not about a comeback, a new song, or a big project, but about the relationship of two friends who have been known to be very close, Jungkook and Kim Taehyung. The two have been together since their trainee days, growing up in BTS from teenagers to world icons. But recently, word spread that Jungkook was leaving Taehyung in silence with no message, no explanation, just a cold, sudden departure. This issue stems from the lack of interaction between Jungkook and Taehyung on several important occasions. The two have always had a strong chemistry, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes. Jungkook's absence when Taehyung holds a small event with his celebrity colleagues and old friends left many fans wondering. Moreover, an internal source said that Taehyung had been waiting for Jungkook to come, but he never came. Not even a message came from him. If pulled back, some fans are actually starting to notice small changes in the dynamic between Jungkook and Taehyung. No longer sitting side by side during the last concert, no longer greeting each other on the group's live broadcast, until the vacuum of collaborative content such as BTS's usual run features Taekook's Taehyung Jungkook. Typical hoopla. One of the highlights was when Taehyung glanced at Jungkook during a group interview, but Jungkook lowered his head and averted his eyes. Some fans felt it was an awkward expression that implied emotional distance. Not as usual, but as expected, the ARMY reacted immediately. Social media was flooded with hashtags such as #Taekook, #JungkookY, and #WeMissYouTaekook. Many fans expressed their disappointment at Jungkook's perceived too cold and closed attitude towards Taehyung. How could he leave without a word? They are not just colleagues, they are friends. Taehyung is obviously waiting. His expression at that time made my heart hurt. We don't know what happened, but Jungkook's attitude this time really hurt not only Taehyung, but also us, the ARMY who always supported them both. However, not a few also tried to be neutral and asked fans not to judge too quickly. Some warned that the members may be facing internal pressures that are not known to the public, especially since they are now undergoing a physically and emotionally difficult conscription period. Adding to ARMY's worries, Taehyung suddenly uploads a touching message on his personal social media. The message reads, "Some people don't really leave, they just turn into people we no longer know." The sentence was immediately attributed to Jungkook by the fans. Is it a message for someone who is close but is now far away? Along with that, Taehyung is also seen spending more time alone in some personal content. He no longer said Jungkook's name like he used to. No greeting, no small code, no intimate hug. Everything was quiet, cold, and unfamiliar. Until now, there has been no official statement from HYBE or the BTS members themselves regarding this issue. However, sources said that it is possible that the two have experienced differences in views during their individual projects, especially after they began to focus on solo careers. Differences in lifestyle, pressure from the public, to small conflicts that may be magnified due to lack of communication can be the cause of the estrangement of their relationship. Some speculated that Jungkook was trying to establish new boundaries in his life, including keeping his distance from those closest to him for the sake of personal peace. But if so, why did he do it without explaining it to Taehyung? Although the atmosphere was cold, not a few still hoped that this was just a temporary respite for the two. In the history of Taekook's relationship, they have also experienced awkward times, but eventually got close again. Many fans believe that their bond is too strong to simply break. If this is deep love or true friendship, he will return. Jungkook must have realized what he left behind. Taehyung is always patient. Maybe he's just waiting, like he used to. A small gesture that rekindles hope amid the disappointment that enveloped the ARMY community. A small signal appeared, making some fans pin hopes that maybe, just maybe, everything is not really over yet. Jungkook, who had not previously been seen giving any sign of his breakup with Taehyung, suddenly posted a song on his personal playlist. The song is called Silence, an instrumental song full of emotion, with a mournful and silent melody, as if talking through the notes about the emptiness that cannot be expressed in words. Many believe that the song is a veiled message. The song without lyrics felt very personal, like a feeling she couldn't convey directly. Is that regret? Is it an admission that his silence has been painful, not only for Taehyung, but also for himself? Fans also began to browse the social media activities of both of them. Some of the ARMY noticed that Taehyung was still secretly following Jungkook on his personal platform and did not delete old photos showing their togetherness. A sign that although the wound has not healed, the door has not been completely closed. Unlike Jungkook, who began to show signs of guilt through music, Taehyung remained in stifling silence. He continued to appear on several content and personal agendas with a near-perfect smile, but ARMY knew it wasn't as warm as it used to be. There is a dim look in the eyes. There is a slow demeanor that describes emptiness. During one of his recent live broadcasts, Taehyung read a comment from a fan who wrote, "We know you're missing out." Taehyung just laughed a little and replied softly that longing sometimes has nowhere to go. An answer that instantly sparked a furor for being so poetic and full of hidden meaning. ARMY feels that Taehyung is actually still waiting, albeit in pain, albeit in silence. On several occasions, other BTS members began to show subtle efforts to break the ice. Jimin, who is close to the two, made a light comment when asked about the relationship between the members. Sometimes it takes time to understand that love, in any form, cannot be forced. But that doesn't mean we stop loving. RM, the ever-wise leader, said in a short interview, relationships are like songs. Sometimes the tones don't fit. But if you are patient and keep trying, you can finally create harmony again. These comments, despite not mentioning names, were perceived by fans as a form of hope that the members did not remain silent at the crack of two important figures in the BTS family, undeniably. The quiet breakup between Jungkook and Taehyung had a huge emotional impact on ARMY. Many of them grew up with BTS, and witnessing the closeness of the two is part of a beautiful story that makes fans feel connected. When that warmth suddenly faded, it was like losing a shelter home. Some of the fanbase even held an online night of prayer and reflection, played videos of Taekook's sweet moments from the past, and wrote open letters to both. Not to demand an explanation, but simply to convey a sincere sense of love, that they will always support no matter what. The big question continues to resonate in the hearts of fans. Will Jungkook return, not only physically, but also emotionally? To Taehyung's side, many believe that although this separation is painful, it is not necessarily the end. Perhaps this is just a period of pause, a period of reflection, or a time for both to grow individually. Sometimes, too intense closeness can also trigger distance, and the only way to realize a person's worth is when he or she has left. But if Jungkook really listens to his heart, if Taehyung still opens doors, and if time really heals, then the two's reunion could be one of the most electrifying moments in BTS history, not because of the drama, but because of the depth of their never-ordinary relationship. The story of Jungkook leaving Taehyung in silence isn't just about a breakup. It's a true portrait of human emotion, of unspoken wounds, of longing held back, and of relationships tested by time and changed. ARMY may feel angry, disappointed, and sad. But their love for BTS, and especially for Taekook, is not one to be easily shaken. Because behind all that emotion, there is one great hope, that two hearts that were once very close will, one day, find a way to return, not as idols and stars, but as two best friends who once and still need each other in silence. Farewell is not always accompanied by the word goodbye. Sometimes, separation comes in a silent form, in the form of someone slowly moving away, silently, without explanation. That's how the ARMY feels right now. Jungkook leaves Taehyung in silence.